Good afternoon, everyone. I think we should get started. Vijay, do you want to take away and start?
Sure. Hi. Thank you, everybody, for registering and joining us today. We've fantastic conversations to look forward to. I've been looking forward to for about last couple of weeks for this conversation. So let me do a quick round of introduction. I want to introduce Vishal Agarwal, CEO of Locobuzz, right? And myself, Vijay. I lead products at Locobuzz, right? So what we have thought about this session is to explore the new revolution which is happening in the software industry called as generative AI, or ChatGPT as we have used it and the way we know it, right? So this is going to be a conversation around that and how Locobuzz has been a pioneer in using that technology and using it in the most apt industry and function, that is customer experience, and hence the future, that's what we want to call it, right? The future of customer experience with the technologies that are available today, called similar to ChatGPT, and how Locobuzz is already using it with our latest release called as ResponseGenie, right? So I have few questions ready for Vishal to understand his idea about generative AI and why is he taking the company towards AI first approach of really revolutionizing the customer experience space with the features that we have currently released and a lot of things that we have planned for the near future, right? So welcome, Vishal.
Thank you, Vijay.
First question I want to ask is there's various technological revolution that we have seen in our lifetime, right? Starting with internet, then the cloud computing and social networks, all of this coming about. Why do you feel generative AI is different and what is going to change in the near future because of this?
I think the most amazing thing which happened with generative AI is people finally, and when I say people, I mean common man, people who are not so hell-bent on technology, could literally see the impact of AI, could literally touch and feel it and see the power of it. Sometimes, when we look at life around us, things we do for work, right? Content has a very significant role to play. Whether it is writing an email, whether it is, writing a message for collecting payment, or writing a feature documentation, or a consultant writing a proposal. There's so many forms, right? From email marketing to content which you generate for other forms of marketing activities, to writing description for the code you have written, or writing the code itself. There's so many things which take up a lot of our time, who in here has not gone and shown an email to somebody and say, hey, does it make sense? Because, sometimes you're writing that important email and you want a second opinion. That's what ChatGPT gave everybody. And I think Microsoft named it Copilot. And that's literally what it is. It's really a smart Copilot, sometimes smarter than you, sometimes not as smart as you. But the reality is it is transforming every day so many little or many major tasks for us, and not limited just to content generation. We see this as an amazing augmented assistant, a really smart Copilot to improve and make you more productive, to save your time. And this is as big a moment in our lives as was internet. And we are already seeing a slew of technologies built around this coming out, right from an Auto GPT to Slack GPT, and now it's just going to be GPT versions of so many things which we do. And hence, we believe that Locobuzz had to do something to help their customers take advantage of it in their day-to-day lives around customer experience. And we could see so many wonderful applications. So we all huddled, and our tech team put their best foot forward, and we were able to turn around and do something very quickly. I really want to thank our partners, Microsoft, to give us the access to the API. I would love to thank some of our partners. We've just released a press release also around it, who were hungry enough for innovation and smart enough to understand the value of this and get started so quickly. So we already have 2-3 of our customers using it.
Sure. So with that, tell me, what is generative AI and how is it changing customer experience and how is it changing the way it is delivered to customers?
So, the boring definition of generative AI would be that it generates content on its own based on its training on any topic which you have given it. So it is good with words, it is good with understanding context, semantics, and it's able to actually create new content which other AI systems will think a human has written. It's not a control C, control V of a line from here, a line from there. It's actually an interpretation of the problem, the way this model understands, and the way you constrain it with the prompts. So it can help you create, and when you map it to customer experience, one of the most important challenge which we run into is, I say it's a thankless job when you're responding to customers, because you go from one angry customer to another angry customer, and it sort of takes a toll on you. So generative AI technology, which now Locobuzz has implemented in the form of ResponseGenie, make sure that your responses are accurate and are qualitative and are empathetic towards the customer, no matter how tough the day has been for you. And it's accurate on top of everything else.
Yes. Why customer service though? Why is that the first industry or first function to gain this much importance and so much of
I
significance?
think the impact is significant, right? So when you look at customer service, right, what is customer service? When a customer has a query, when a customer is irate, when a customer is upset, when you're not meeting a customer expectation, he or she is reaching out to you for help, right? And this is your moment now to very effectively, in a very short time, come back with a relevant, meaningful, personalized response. And this is an art of generating new content basis, say, a knowledge base or some information about how to handle a certain kind of problem which is already being created. So this is such a beautiful fit for the AI where it is right now, because it is super amazing when it comes to looking at a certain piece of content, using that as a training set or a one-shot training for itself, and coming back with a very beautiful, empathetic response basis the prompts you've given them. You want to be quirky, you want to be funny, you want to be, pointed, you want to be professional, you want to be emotional. All of these things are just one click away, which can be very complicated for a normal human being. And then customer service gets complicated also. So it's always not about, we are sorry for your pain, we'll get back to you shortly. Imagine doing it for a bank. Now, if I ask you, Vijay, which bank do you bank with?
ICICI.
Do you know what is the fixed deposit interest rate now they have?
No.
It changes, right? And you're a smart person, you don't have that information, right? So now imagine for a bank how difficult and error prone the process has been in the past, where somebody now has to go through a document and may or may not read the document well and may or may not respond to the customers accurately, and it becomes a huge liability on the bank. All of that goes away because you have AI engine which is very objectively looking at the content which you have provided and using the data points which you have provided to formulate the response. It is not assuming that the data points don't change. It always checks on the data points and does the response, and does it very, very fast. So you are doing the customer engagement without any delay, and that is the backbone of customer delight.
Yeah. Absolutely. In the customer support environment, most metrics is time tracked. And this is
Yes.
exactly the core area where a generative AI or ResponseGenie is going to help you in all ways, right? So it's about, we've also seen about 60% decrease in average handling time, and customer wait time dramatically decreases thereof. So yeah, so can you tell me some of the challenges that are currently affecting the CX industry, and how how to pointedly solve this with ChatGPT,
Sure.
those functionalities?
So number one point, which when I talk to my counterparts in various organizations, is people movement. So the process of onboarding a customer support agent, training them, and having them respond, it takes quite a decent amount of time, because each company has a different process systems and all of that. So that really, slows you down, and there's no way before GPT to circumvent it or, go past this time which is needed to train an agent, right? Secondly, if you think about it, I look at this also as hazardous work. Why do hazardous work by humans when machines can do it? And we are seeing that in a lot of industry revolutions. The same way I translated that if I want to give customer support to my customers 24/7, why does a human being have to be nocturnal for that? A GPT can do that. And that creates the running a 24/7 operation is very different than running a daytime operation. Then the consistency and accuracy, right? And that the best person can make a mistake. So the consistency and accuracy, then you have a QC process, you have an audit process, but everything is posthumous.
Yeah.
The reply has gone and somebody's then analyzing and course correcting. Some companies do it within 5 minutes, 50 minutes, 5 hours, 5 days, never. But it's always after the response has gone out, right? So the accuracy is a concern. And when you have a complicated environment, the time to response is always very important. And we have seen, especially in social media, it has made people anything like, patience is a virtue which is lost completely now. So if you're not able to respond to a tweet within a minute, 2 minute, chances are somebody who's upset will write another tweet, another tweet, another tweet. And then you have 3 or 4 or 5 tweets, which are just pure anger and frustration, which does neither your customer any good nor you any good, right? Because it's an open platform. So you can eliminate all of that.
Yes. So GPT is ResponseGenie, and these kind of technologies really help us automate, right? And automation is usually a fix for a repetitive task. What are some of the real life examples that you can think of in a customer support environment, right, that can be automated like on day one?
So, okay, so this is very interesting. So day 1 and day 2 and day 3 are like not very far apart, but the impact is like, it's mind-boggling. So day 1, people have queries. How do I apply for a credit card? For example, let's just stick to the banking example, right?
Mm-hmm.
How do I apply for a credit card? What can I do with the credit card points? What are different kinds of credit cards? My credit score is this much. Can I get a credit card? Things like that. When will the refund be reflected? Basic queries which usually people ask. All of this is standard response which can be taken care of. So if you look at any operation, right, 50% of the queries which come, or sometimes even more, are very standard queries which come, which can be responded to very, very quickly. Some queries are complicated. Now, and those queries require empathetic response. And interestingly enough, generative AI can do that as well, which are, hey, I hear you, and I'm really sorry for your pain. I am assigning to Ram Prasad. He's going to work on it, and he's going to get back to you within 24 hours. So imagine now being able to respond that to the user, taking that conversation, giving it to, say, agent Ram Prasad, and Ram Prasad is working on it and comes back with a response and goes back to the end customer. So this process currently is what somebody looks at it whenever they get time, low priority, high priority, and then they do a intermediate response with the customer is like, you took 30 minutes to tell me this, that goes away, right? Then you have reviews and ratings happening on Google My Business, app, Play Store, right? All of those can be automated, which are very, very significant. And for certain businesses, very high in number. So it's kind of really amazing how sometimes you don't see how significant a Play Store engagement for certain brands can be. So those things can be fully automated. And those things can be automated to the core where you know the roadmap of the company as well. And imagine, right, people asking for a feature request, and you can even tell them, yes, in 3 months, this is going to be there. So your knowledge base is not just limited to customer complaints, but it can be more exciting as well. And then, and because you're able to address these queries in near real time with so much quality and content and accuracy and personalization, it builds a great sort of narrative for the brand and a great relationship with the customer. So this is day 1, right? Day 2, where's my order? So easy. I can, immediately I know order related queries need to go to my CRM, one API call away, API gives me the result. I can beautifully formulate it in a sentence and, voila, I can get those things going. So a lot of things which require you to check on your backend system, which could be, Dynamics or Oracle or Salesforce. Locobuzz integrates with all of them with a single click, right? Whether it is Freshworks or Zendesk or whatever it is, right? So we have a single click integration available in, Locobuzz. And now you plug ResponseGenie with it. All we do is we understand it's a CRM query. We will call the API, get the data. ResponseGenie will create a beautiful response around it and send it. This is day 2. Day 3 is like being in Tesla in day 3, where you are literally having your customer service go with your hands completely, just looking at it to ensure everything's going as you thought it should be going. And it will. It's really powerful and remarkable technology. My CTO has been working on this, is constantly getting floored by a lot of complex problems, which it is able to address even on the technology side. So a knowledge-based one-shot training on the customer service can be done easily.
Yeah, that's wonderful. I'm like really waiting for day 2 and day 3 to like run with it. That is amazing roadmap for all of us who are hearing this. It's a nirvana situation, to be precise. So with respect to ResponseGenie, right? Knowledge base connection, and that is its powerful feature. Why do you think it's a must-have for customer service operations now?
Oh, absolutely. So, knowledge base is the way to standardize what goes out as a brand. And, even whether you're a small brand or a big brand, you need to get started somewhere. The kind of language you don't want to use, the kind of words you want to use, the kind of things to say in a certain environment, certain situation. These things are very important. Brands are built on consistency. Just reflect on this. Brands are built on consistency. We all have our go-to brand because there is certain aspects which we know will always be there, whether it is a restaurant you go to because you remember the taste of the food and it's consistent every time you go. The moment it's not consistent, you're probably not going to go. Same with products you use, right? Consistency in messaging is extremely important. Coca-Cola has not gone away from happiness. It's been many, 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 many years, right? And Nike is not gone away from just do it. That's the recall. That's the messaging. That's the consistency. So if you want to build a brand, consistency in messaging is very important. It becomes even more important when the messaging is for crisis. So one of the biggest challenges, I personally also deal with, right? When there's this crisis, how calm and cool you are. So when it's a crisis, when somebody's unhappy with you, when somebody's expecting something the brand has not delivered, then the consistency in messaging is even more important. And that really defines how people recall your brand. See, in any business, things will go wrong. You will have situations where you would not have met the expectations. How you elevate yourself as a brand and engage with the customers with the consistency in messaging becomes extremely important. And knowledge base is the key to that consistency. Without that holy document, you are not going to be consistent. And that's why knowledge base is extremely important. What we have done at Locobuzz is do not worry about your knowledge base. Bring it in any format you have. You have a big knowledge base, you have a small knowledge base. We do not discriminate. Just upload your knowledge base and you're ready to roll.
That's wonderful. Right. Now, talking a little bit about knowledge base and then this thing, how does ResponseGenie continue this conversation with newer suggestions? Because it's not always, the power of ResponseGenie is not limited to first level response. It can help you continue the conversation. And how is Locobuzz achieving that?
So I can't tell you everything. I have to, that I'll have to probably ship you somewhere else. But our engineering team has done a lot of interesting things, right? So number one, awareness of the knowledge base. So the quality of response is always accurate. Number two is the context of the conversation. So when we talk to you with your query, we are not just looking at what you have immediately said. We are looking at your past conversations. And this is one of the most defining features of Locobuzz for any agent without any additional click. They've always been able to look at all the past conversations in a very seamless manner. And that really has helped them save a lot of time. Same, feature is now used by the bot or the AI, where it's able to look at your past conversations, the user's past conversations, all of that. And it factors all of these things when it comes up with a response. So it's very relevant, very personalized.
Great. So ResponseGenie is a collection of a lot of other features as well, right? It's not about just suggesting a response. It's
Yes.
also about an agent who has crafted the response, but wants to change it a little bit, or maybe even
Yes.
translate it. Want to speak about that?
For sure. So so we always talk. It's kind of, we get biased. We always talk about the more challenging things. So the response genie is for two use cases, right? One is, how do I respond to this query? So it will, from nothing, using your knowledge base, create a beautiful response for you, right? That's one use case. The second use case is, you have written a response, but you're just not sure. You just want to tweak it a bit. It's a bit too long. You want to shorten it. It looks a bit tacky. You want to make it a little bit more professional. It looks very pointed. You want to make it a little more empathetic. Or it's too loose. You want to make it professional. We have all been in these situations, right? So we provide your mechanism with a single click. You can do all of these sort of changes to your response. So it's you in the cockpit, you driving the joystick, holding it, but you are now having a co-pilot which is helping you just change it the way you would want it. Then you can also do translation. We've been evaluating Google Translate as well as GPT Translate. Both have their merits and demerits, but it's important to have access to both. So in Locobuzz, we believe in enabling our customers. So, we are not sort of going to say, hey, this is better over that, this is better. We recommend, basis the use case, the prompts change and all of those things happen, but you can use ResponseGenie for Translate as well. And then on top of that, what we have done for your ORM process owners or the process manager or the brand manager is, you can on the click customize these prompts. So for example, my empathetic is not empathetic enough for you. My funny is not funny enough for you. As a brand, you can tweak those things and further personalize how you would want these responses to be tweaked when your agents are asking for help from the Response Genie as a co-pilot.
That's fantastic. And this very use case is beyond customer service. It's now marketing engagement. Brand can have a persona prompt, made that persona into a prompt and generate every new response.
Not just that, Vijay. I think our team at Locobuzz is already toying with the idea of helping marketeers create content. So, we already have POCs internally being executed where now we are using this technology, and you have your knowledge base and a company bio and stuff like that. And it's aware of what's happening in the world in terms of, like the coronation happening this coming Monday in UK. It is smart enough to get into all of those things. We are right now looking at figuring out, which time zone you are in, and basis all of that, which country, and then it can personalize and create content for you. So while you are like trying to put something quirky on Twitter before you log off for the day, and you have a writer's block, Response Genie to rescue. So it's going to be able to sort of, become marketing genie for you and be able to help you create content as well. And we are also exploring integrating image creation and all of that. So boom, you can have a very nice image and content done with literally thinking about it. And it can be extended to creating a month-long content and whatnot, right? The entire content plan and everything. So yes, customer experience or customer response, creating, modifying it is just the start of it. Like, day zero, I would call it. Day one for us is when we'll be able to even help you create content for marketing. Now, whether it is you want to write email content, or whether it writes social media content, or you want to even get images created. So the team's already working on it, and you will be shared that announcement very soon. So we are very excited about helping you in every step of the way in connecting better with your customers. The other application which the team has been working on is in analytics, and some of us, our users have given us some fantastic feedback. So the third pronged approach is, okay, I have all this data, and how do I make sense of it? Give me the 5 things which matter to me. Give me the 5 steps I need to take. Give me that actionable intelligence. And Data Genie to rescue. Data Genie is going to give you insights in a manner you can consume them very conveniently. So the idea is that anywhere where AI can help you simplify your work, save you time, responding, analyzing, creating content, all of it Locobuzz is going to support. We have partnered with the right people. As you're all aware, Microsoft's a very significant partner to OpenAI, and we are a very good partners with Microsoft, and we have access to all the right APIs, using them to implement it and giving you a first-in-class experience across all these innovative ideas. And just like we were the first one to introduce creating a response while the world is still stuck on massaging the response, we'll be the first ones to create analytics on social media data with relevant actionable intelligence as well. So yeah, if you have not started to explore it, I implore you to take a look at it. Do not miss this boat. This is like living without internet.
True that. Vishal, we have few customers. Can you talk about the journey, that how much longer did it take for them to get their hands wet with these fantastic technologies?
So I'm not bragging, guys, but it literally took 2 to 3 hours to get started. All you have to do is give us the knowledge base, we'll upload it, and we'll tell you how to click which button to click, and boom, you're ready to go. And the feedback which we're getting, one of the very interesting feedback which we're getting is people are not using their templated responses anymore. Can you imagine that? I mean, if you've been part of an ORM process, you would know the weeks and the effort it takes of going back and forth about a templated messages, and the challenge and the nuance when you're not using a template message, but you're writing something on your own. There's an approval process. It can take ages. And by the time you're figuring it out, the customer is thinking you don't care about him or her, and he or she is writing again on social media and saying, what the hell, it's been half an hour, 45 minutes, you've not responded to me. All of that goes away. So apart from the obvious things, which we expected people to see, wow, it's amazing. Wow, the response is accurate. Wow, I had no idea it could do this. We are seeing people are not using their, templated messages. They feel the messages being generated are better.
Yeah.
Simply put.
And
so yeah, yes, please.
One more thing I've also heard is the time taken for an agent to search for the knowledge base.
Yes. So
non-existent.
yeah, exactly. I mean, imagine for any. So we are working with one of the largest, D2C e-com super app of the country, and one of the challenges they have is because they aggregate so much product, so many services from so many providers. There are different rules and different sort of special terms and conditions which apply, right from the value of the transaction, the points they generate. All of this can be very complicated. So for a human agent to make sure the response is accurate takes time, right? And that goes away with GPT. It's like boom, and you are there with the response. So there's no searching, and then as the content is refreshed, that process of refreshed content being pushed to all the agents and ensuring all the agents know that is a very tiring and a costly process, both in terms of time and effort, and that goes away completely.
With all of this automation and a lot of the way I look at it is these are all technologies that are kind of a sidekick for the original heroes, which are the agents who are serving these customers. Their life is going to change. How should they think about their careers, their upskilling now?
Very good question, Vijay. And I really believe that their life is going to change in a very profound way. The way one can become, very valuable is to reflect on being able to manage the process. So elevate yourself as not somebody who's just instructed and they just respond to the queries based on the print messages, but is able to pull them out and look at the entire process and see if can you own the process, number one. Number two, can you look at the data from different facets and different aspects and come up with more intelligence and insights to improve internal and external communication process. And then finally, the data insights and analytics in terms of, what kind of conversations, what does it mean to my business, all of that. So I really feel that the agents will have more and more time at their hands to really reflect and improve the ORM process, and agents who will be able to create an impact and influence there will be of a lot more value than agents who have been just doing the first-hand response. The second opportunity here is also to upskill themselves in some of the enterprise CRM systems like Microsoft Dynamics and Oracle and so forth, because a lot of larger brands would always have needs for experts on the systems who are operating it and culling data from it till they too or day 3 comes, right? So you can buy yourself some time till day 3, day 4 comes to do that. But yes, going forward, I think people who can take initiative in this and reflect on the process and help improve the process will hold the right sort of relationship with their employers in a sense.
Now, coming to the CX marketing leaders, how should they look at this rapidly changing environment, and how what is your advice for them to navigate this, and how should they really ride the wave?
I think it's going to have a major impact on content creation, right? Right now, only 1% of the content is being written by AI, and people are expecting over the next few years it to be significantly written by AI. So at the same time, how humans will consume content will also change. Right now, what I am seeing personally and the benefit marketers can take is that they can work with a leaner, meaner team to do more. They can again make things consistent. So right now it's all loosely operating. Like somebody's using ChatGPT, somebody's using ChatGPT, but you're not using a centralized constraints. You're not ensuring everybody uses the same constraints, everybody uses the same description of what we do, value props, all of that. If they focus on standardizing this process, the collaboration across employees will be very productive, and they'll be able to do a lot more. So right now, yes, it's very easy to write a blog or an email, but to make sure consistently everybody is able to get similar kind of a content, and then they talk about Locobuzz in a similar language, can be enabled by creating some kind of a prompt discipline or a prompt sharing mechanism or enforcing mechanism. So there's a huge opportunity for marketeers, right from content planning to even content creation. I'm sure you must have seen the demos around integration with HubSpot and all of that, right? So right now, whatever we're talking with plugins, right? Now plugins are also there. So as a marketeer, for example, my job is that all the warm leads, I want to talk to them about ResponseGenie, for example. So I just can give an instruction in 2 lines, and it will create an email, and it will connect with my HubSpot, look at all my deal in a certain status, and then send them an email campaign. This is happening today.
Yeah.
In the very few more days, you will be able to create a targeted campaign on selling this. So I think marketeers will be empowered to very quickly experiment and refine what they're doing, and then sharpen their strategy very quickly, and then just go full speed on execution on what is working.
Fantastic. The future looks very, very exciting. Like the enterprise software, as we know it, it's going to change the way we interact with software itself. It's going to be more conversational with the machine itself to get to point A to point Z without having to go through every other alphabet. Directly go there. All right. So, Vishal, what's next for Locobuzz with generative AI roadmap?
A lot of things. I've touched upon certain things. So right now, if you haven't tried, my recommendation is try ResponseGenie, which is going to help you be able to create responses and modify responses. Next phase, if the response is coming from your knowledge base, no need for human intervention, the response will go out on its own. Third phase will be integration with CRM so that it can be smarter. That's the ResponseGenie track. But parallelly, we are running many tracks with generative AI in Locobuzz. The second track is about leveraging it for insights. The third track is leveraging it for marketing. And you'll be able to see movement and progress in all 3 of these tracks over the next quarter. You'll be releasing all these products, and you'll be able to dabble with them. If you have any feedback, if you have any specific need, reach out, write to us, write to your customer support guys. We can always prioritize some of the exciting ideas which you may have.
True that. So, any final thoughts, Vishal, before we jump on to the demo of the much talked about ResponseGenie?
No, I think let's show the demo, because it's very important for people to see it in action, to understand the reality of it.
All right, just 1 second.
So in the meantime, I'll just take a question. How do you handle errors or unexpected output from GPT? It's very easy. What we have done already, handle it in a very smart manner. You have your knowledge base, and when GPT is creating a response using your knowledge base, it is accurate because it is restricting itself to that knowledge base, and the response can be, can be trusted very effectively. When the GPT is creating a response outside of your knowledge base, we show you an alert that this response has been created partly using knowledge base and partly using the knowledge which GPT has on its open training. So you can then be more cognizant, and you can sort of look at it more carefully before you sort of send that response out. That will help you handle unexpected outputs from the GPT.
Are you taking any more questions, or shall I continue?
You can continue, then we'll take some more questions.
Sure. All right. Hope you're able to see my screen.
Yes.
Experience officers, are you struggling to draft the perfect response to your customer inquiries? Do you find it challenging to ensure quick and correct responses were given out to customers all the time? Do not worry. We have a solution for you. Introducing Locobuzz ResponseGenie. With ResponseGenie, you can provide top-notch customer service with ease. ResponseGenie offers personalized response suggestions in real time, powered by Azure OpenAI. Say goodbye to manual drafting and hello to increased efficiency and exceptional service. ResponseGenie also streamlines customer service by delivering accurate and consistent responses tailored to each customer's needs. Let's take a closer look at how it works. Customer service reps can find this option in any Locobuzz ticket response box. A suggestion can be called and used on demand. Users can edit the text before sending it to the customers. The AI engine analyzes the conversation history and uses your brand guidelines and knowledge base and formulates the perfect response within seconds. You can also use a series of modifications like elaborating the response or changing the tone to formal or empathetic. Even translate the response into any of the 100+ languages supported. When the feature is turned on in our much-loved chat experience window designed to manage quick interactions with customers over WhatsApp, Instagram DM, and Facebook Messenger, the response can be auto-suggested for every incoming customer message. This reduces response time drastically and increases efficiencies to manage multiple customers at the same time. ResponseGenie are trained by your existing knowledge base to ensure that the responses provided are accurate and aligned with the brand's messaging. As you can see, ResponseGenie makes it easy to provide quick and accurate responses to customer inquiries across any digital channels like social media, email, review response, messaging, and live chat. And with Microsoft Azure OpenAI powering the feature, you can trust that the suggestions are always up to date and relevant. Transform your customer service experience with ResponseGenie. Get started today. Customer experience.
Let's look at a live demo now, right? So this is Locobuzz CX Suite. This is our latest release of our software. We've added tons and tons of new features that are helpful for marketers and customer support executives, right? There is a cleaner, a very helpful UI for people to find the information that they need very quickly, and also get through conversations, right, naturally from one to another. Right now, let's look at a question that I have. What I have done for this particular account is I have trained Locobuzz's knowledge base, the knowledge base that we have to support our customers whenever they have a question on how to do something with respect to Locobuzz, right? So there I have a question like, how do we add a LinkedIn page on Locobuzz, right? So ChatGPT by itself may not know this answer, right? But Locobuzz with an integration with a knowledge base, right? The integration is just copy and pasting of a long document, and that happened over about 3 to 4 minutes only, right? Now, as an executive, I don't know how to frame this. Let's say I have to look for a lot of other documents to kind of frame it, or if I have a templated response ready for this, we can do that. But all of that goes away with smart suggestions like this. So what I can do is I can actually call for a suggestion on demand whenever I need it, right? And then it gives me an answer which is coming straight from my knowledge base, which is actually telling me like, okay, to add a LinkedIn page, go to accounts, and those steps that are required for me to go ahead and do that. This suggestions is coming from your knowledge base, so you can actually trust that this is an accurate answer. Even if I am the newbie, this is my first day on the job, I can get through 150 tickets without breaking a sweat, right? Now, let's say I want to modify this answer. I can go ahead and I can maybe, let's say I want to like kind of elaborate this answer. I can do that. I can maybe change the tone of it. I want to, right? Beautifully, it is added some more English to make it more professional and a longer, very readable answer now. So those kind of things are automatically done using these things. We can really go ahead and even translate it to any language of your choice. We support 100+ languages. Thereby, one more this thing, you don't now need to have a language skill agent. Any agent is now GPT powered language enabled person. You can type your answers in English, or better, call for that answer in English and then just do a translation. You don't need to now translate your entire knowledge base in another language too. Everything is taken care of at the edge of the moment, which is the time of response. You can, and you have a chance to change the response if should you need it, right? And then go for it. And what we are seeing is people are not changing any response. They are using this as suggested, right? And then you hit send. That's the only thing. And then the certain features I can actually like use it here, and then the response is sent, right? I took a while to explain this, but otherwise this ticket would have an average handling time of about 10 seconds only. So this is the power of using generative AI in customer support functionality. As you see in the video, any text-based conversation that you're having with your customers, this is enabled for you. Be it email, it knows that you're talking to you.
So I'll stop you, Vijay, right there. I've got like lots of questions and I want to make sure we go through them.
All right. All right.
Okay. You want to sort of take a stab at them? Can you, or should I just call out the questions? So I'll call out Sakshi's question first. Will we get multiple suggestions or will it just frame one?
It frames one at a time. So you can call for another suggestion if you don't like the first one.
Yeah, so you can sort of keep going in the loop. So it doesn't confuse you with giving you 4 options. It gives you a beautiful response. You don't like it, just press a button. It'll sort of reformulate.
Give you the next one. Yeah.
Next question is, how can business measure the ROI of using ResponseGenie for their customer service? I want to take this one. So I've done the maths. That's why I'm taking this one. Okay. So if you look at what an agent does, right? An agent does about 80 responses in a day, 100 responses in a day, and an agent operates for about 22 days, I hope, not 30 days. You got to have a life. So if you look at it, even if you do 100, you do about 2,200 responses in a day. 2,200 responses will cost you about 2,500 rupees, maybe less, with ResponseGenie. So you can do the maths. Right. Next question for you, Vijay. How does ResponseGenie handle multilingual customer queries?
Multilingual customer queries, yeah, ResponseGenie handles it. So as long as your knowledge base is supported with that multilinguality, we're able to even understand that. So it works perfectly on English. That's where most of our use cases are. When you want to respond to customers in a different language, that works perfectly. But in all honesty, right, your knowledge base needs to be multilingual for us to understand, right, to know that this question has an answer in the same language and it kind of matches the context. So that is one of the caveat for this. But otherwise, most of the conversations are in English. You can translate at the edge is the best option to do that.
We're getting lots of questions. Next question is it now only suggesting the response or actually sending it as well on behalf of the brand? So we discussed this, guys, day 1, day 0. So right now it's only suggesting, but I think we're just a few days away from enabling it in a way where you can do a setting saying that if it's sort of using my response from a knowledge base, send it, no need to ask. So it'll be at Locobuzz, it'll be a configuration. So you'll be able to play around with it. Question for you, Vijay. Does content suggestion take currently trending topics into the consideration as well? Is for the marketing piece.
From a marketing perspective, no, this is it is not looking at currently trending and things like that, because again, whenever you want to respond, you want to be accurate, you want to be
No, this is for the marketing purpose. This is for the marketing purpose. When you're rating content, it is using current trending topics.
When you want to create a content, yes. When you want to create a content, what we do is look at what's happening, look at what's working for the brand. That's most important. The kind of hashtags, the time of the day that you had the best post with certain keywords, all of that is looked at, and then then GPT suggests you. In a response management scenario, yeah, we stick to brand guidelines, which is set in stone, perhaps, right? So because you need to be accurate. But from a marketing perspective, yes, there is a lot of room for experiment and adventure.
Yeah. Shweta Wadle asks, can ResponseGenie be customized, match the tone and voice of specific brand?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So we call it right, brand guidelines. So you can declaratively tell us what your brand stands for. So the responses are aligned to what you describe your brand is to us, and we're able to this thing. You can, the best use case for here is like my brand is a young brand, use language which is very urban and things like that, right? So whenever we are generating content on behalf of you in terms of suggestions or content suggestions on the marketing side, we take into account all of this.
What kind of training and support does Locobuzz provide to businesses that use ResponseGenie?
You wouldn't need any to be. That's my like.
Okay, I'll help Vijay. So Vijay is getting biased because yes, it's true. What Vijay said is absolutely true. You really wouldn't need any help. But at Locobuzz, we take a lot of pride in how we support our customers. We have dedicated customer success partners. We have client onboarding partners. We're always there for you, whether it is ResponseGenie or anything else, you know. Yeah. So do not worry about it. It's like it's literally a very autonomous device which understands your needs and your knowledge base and acts on your demand very beautifully. So a lot of support is not needed, but as much support you need, we provide.
And then we provide support on demand on the product itself. So we have like the kind of support usually would people ask the first time is, how do I do that, or how do I do this? So Locobuzz has helpful product tours that can help you, your 25 other agents in their time of work to get their job done within few clicks. We guide them through each clicks that they have to do.
So next question, are there any specific industries or business types that can benefit from using ResponseGenie?
It's kind of open for all, right? So, but where we are seeing is where it's a service industries usually tend to get a lot of complaints and inquiries. So you can use that there. Product companies have questions around, tell me more about this product. So you can use it there. From a use case perspective, you can use it in any industry. What we're seeing from an adoption perspective, or our thumb rule is wherever there is more number of tickets, wherever there is more number of answers which are templated given, can we now make it using an AI? Can we now make it make the suggestion on demand real time to an agent so that we can really improve the customer experience? Just by doing this, customer experience is definitely improved, right? So that's how we look about it.
What will happen if there's some more information required for ResponseGenie to respond accurately? So I'll take this one. So basically, it will formulate your response basis, your knowledge base, and then it will use its own knowledge to formulate a response. In that case, you get a prompt saying that the response is created used partly using a knowledge base and partly using the worldly knowledge the ResponseGenie has. If you're okay with the response, you can send it. If you're not okay with the response, you can sort of reformulate. At any given time, you can refresh your knowledge base. So if you realize that knowledge base is not complete and it has certain limitations, you can update your knowledge base, and it's an instant update. The moment you update the knowledge base, the very next query will use the updated knowledge base. Two questions left. How does ResponseGenie integrate with other tools in Locobuzz platform to provide a unified CX, or is it just available as response management?
Can you repeat that question? Sorry, I'm not able to.
I'll handle it. So the question is, how tightly is ResponseGenie integrated with other functions? So right now, it helps you respond and massage your responses or formulate, make minor changes to your responses. However, in day 2, it will also start changing statuses of your tickets and all of those. Right now, we are not getting into that. Right now, it's all about automating response creation, automating analysis, automating content creation. Post that, you'll be, as we are going with some more interesting updates for you, a lot of interesting additions and integrations with the GPT engine you will see in many, many products which we launch and features which we launch in future. How does the system handle feedback or responses? Does it learn from it? So currently what we are right now doing is using this as a variance to understand whether the response came from knowledge base or whether the response came from, directly from the knowledge which GPT had before the training. However, because of the generative AI, we do not retrain as such. What we are refining as a process is how do we process your knowledge base in chunks which is easily understandable to ChatGPT. So at no point, apart from the one-shot training of ChatGPT, we don't train the whole GPT instance for you. There's no training there. There's no need for that, actually. The only optimization which we keep doing it is how do we break down your knowledge base in a manner where it becomes more understandable and readable for GPT. And that's the science and processing art, data science and machine learning team does to keep on coming with newer ways of improving that. And the last question, Vijay, for you, what is to answer something phone number is needed and the customer is not provided that? Does it handle these scenarios?
Okay, right. Everything starts with the declarative document, which is your knowledge base. So in your knowledge base for this particular scenario, let's say I have come to ask what is my order status. So you would have a checklist of the questions that you would ask as a human agent that you would ask. If that checklist is documented in your knowledge base, the system is able to follow that. Any more questions, team?
No, that's all the questions we had.
All right. So thank you, everybody, for joining in on a Friday evening. It was wonderful. A lot of these questions were amazing. So we can't wait to see you on a personalized demo where we can actually give you a demo on what we know about your brand as a knowledge base with some questions that we see commonly on your social handles, to just try to mimic how quickly that you were able to answer that. So we have those systems to help give you that demo experience to show you what is possible with this amazing technology. Please write to us at sales@locobuzz.com if you're interested. Happy to take you through this demo and talk to you more about the future that we can build it together. Right. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful evening and wonderful weekend ahead. See you guys.
Thank you so much for your time. Have a wonderful day ahead,
Thank you
guys.
so much.
Take care. Have a great weekend.
Bye.
Bye.